2017 will be a critical year for a number of issues in Washington state. After a year filled with government overreach, attacks on freedom, and the heavy weight of lawless Supreme Court decisions, we all have our work cut out for us. Here's a list of the top 7 legislative issues you should consider as you cast your ballot this November. We need to prevent discriminatory treatment by the government. Many in government maintain a compelling interest in silencing the beliefs of those who do not agree with their agenda. This includes mandating pharmacists of faith to distribute abortifacients against their will. It includes requiring those who do not agree with the premise of same-sex marriage that they must actively participate in same-sex ceremonies. The government should not decide who succeeds and who fails, and they certainly shouldn't have the authority to decide based on someone's sincerely held beliefs. We'll work to prohibit sex selection abortions in Washington. The victims of sex selection abortions are overwhelmingly female. Last year, Senator Ann Rivers initiated the push to block women from obtaining an abortion based on whether or not the sex of the child is what the parents wanted. Abortion is unfair to every child who dies, but to kill a baby girl simply because the parents wanted a boy, or vice versa, is just wrong. We believe a vast majority of Washingtonians would support this legislation on both sides of the aisle. In 2017, we'll work to check the authority of state agencies. Last year, the Human Rights Commission unilaterally implemented open locker rooms, showers, and bathrooms on authority supposedly delegated to them by the legislature. The Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction wrote new standards that include teaching first graders about gender expression and gender identity, on authority supposedly delegated to the office by the Constitution. State agencies are making too many controversial decisions without input and oversight from the legislature. People need a voice, and we must find a way to deliver that voice legislatively. We're going to work to defeat the abortion insurance mandate. For several years, progressives have sought to require every insurance package offered in Washington to include paying for elective abortions. Newsflash, this isn't okay. To this point, the legislature has defeated this effort, but it will almost certainly be back this year. And depending on the outcome of the 2016 elections, we may face a tougher battle. We're going to work to advance parental notification. Children can't enter into contracts by themselves. They can't buy alcohol, marijuana, or even tobacco. Why should they be trusted with a complicated medical decision without the consultation of their parents? Senator Mike Patton introduced a parental notification bill last year, and it made more progress than it's made in a decade. Let's keep that going this session and make sure parents have a say in what happens to their child. We need to limit the damage done by the Human Rights Commission's open bathroom rule. Because the Just Want Privacy campaign came up short on the number of signatures it needed to put the rule on the ballot in the allotted amount of time, we'll be working to push back on this overreach again legislatively in 2017. Perhaps even most importantly this election, we need to work to protect religious freedom and rights of conscience. Perhaps the greatest threat we face in the upcoming election is the erosion of religious freedom, free speech, and the rights of conscience. People shouldn't be forced to do things that violate their beliefs, plain and simple. Doctors shouldn't be forced to perform abortions. Muslims shouldn't be required to eat pork. A Jewish print shop should not be required to print neo-Nazi propaganda. Having the freedom to say no is as fundamental of a right as you'll find anywhere on earth. The U.S. has always championed religious freedom, free speech, and the freedom of association. We need to make sure that Washington's legislature does too. Last year, we launched FPIW's Legislative Hub, a one-stop shop for Washingtonians wanting to learn more about bills and track them, a place where they can write to their legislators and gain a better understanding of how to engage in the legislative process. If you'd like to be a part of winning on these issues in the upcoming election, visit our hub at hub.fpiw.org and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. For FPIW, this is Zach Freeman.